Okay everyone, this is the second part of the video of what are the steps in order to change a mixing valve. So like I told you earlier, I showed you what a mixing valve looks like, I showed you how it works, and now I'm gonna tell you the steps which I took in order to successfully and safely, of course, change that mixing valve. This is my water heater over here, and I'm gonna show you where my mixing valve was located. It's very in a very good and convenient spot. I have a lot of room to work on it. This is the new unit. As you can see, it looks very much the same as the one that I've showed you, which was the older one. And first thing I wanted to show you, how did I troubleshoot and how did I find out that this was malfunctioning, that it was the mixing valve, that it was not working well. And what I did was, since this right here is the pipe connected from the water heater going down to the mixing valve itself over here, and this is the knob to stop the hot water H going into the mixing valve, and this is the cold water coming into that mixing valve. And so this right here will be the mixed water between the cold and hot. When I touched this pipe, it was very hot, so I was following logic. Okay, then my water heater was working. And when I touched this middle pipe for the mixed water, it was warm, but it wasn't nearly as hot. So immediately I thought, okay, my theory was confirmed from what I read online. The symptoms matched, and I knew that the mixing valve was malfunctioning. So now I said, okay, I can order the part and I can start working on it. So after doing a lot of research, because of obviously I was cautious and kind of scared when I saw this water heater and all this pipe, all these knobs. I didn't know anything about it, so of course I don't want to mess anything up. And my water heater is gas, so that's another thing I was worrying about. I didn't want to do any mistakes, basically. But after reading article after article, of course credible sources, I gained more confidence, and I thought, okay, I can do this. It's just a matter of following the steps and being safe. That's the main thing. The first step, I'm not gonna make this video too long. The first step, what I did was locating your circuit breaker at home and turning off the circuit breaker for your water heater. Okay, that's very important. So no power goes into the water heater. And then as an extra step, I just physically unhooked the cable for it. Okay, so no power is coming in. The second thing what I did is shut the water for the main house supply. So mine is again located here. Yours might be outside the house, but mine was very convenient. It's right over here. Just twist that knob off and no water is coming into the house. Okay. You have to do some research for your at your house to see what's located where. And also there's some diagrams here on my water heater, so I can, you know, kind of pinpoint what I need, which knob is what. The third thing, of course, if your water heater is gas, stop the gas. And mine is located over here. That red knob, just twist it off and stops the gas. So I'm all set. So I have no water coming into the house, no power, and no gas supplying it, if in your case is a water heater. Of course, your mixing valve might not be located right. Your setup might not be exactly the same as mine, so it might be somewhere on top. You need to locate it, but it's gonna look fairly similar. It's gonna have three-way pipe: hot, cold, and mixed. So you'll locate it, you'll find it. Okay. And there's one extra thing which I did was turn off the cold water supply to the tank. So, you know, obviously the tank needs to have water coming in, and the tank warms it up. And this red knob right there, it's my supply, my water supply for the tank itself. All right. So remember, I'm gonna emphasize on that: no power, no water, and no gas. If your unit is gas, okay. The next step is turning off all the knobs, just so no water comes in, because the tank is gonna be full. So twisting that knob off, it's gonna turn off the hot water to the mixing valve. Twisting this knob off, it's gonna stop the cold water coming in. All right. And this knob, it supplies my my heating, so I turned it off as well. I don't know if I should have, but just precautious, I turned it off. it's very important to remember what you've touched and what you've changed. So maybe before you start, it's a very good idea to take photos, write down, maybe a little diagram of how everything looks. It's very important. I did a lot of photos just so I can retract my steps later. And okay, coming back to it, everything is off. No power, no water, no gas. I'm ready to change the mixing valve, but before I start doing that, I was concerned that maybe water might start coming out, coming out of its way here, the mixed water. So what I did is I drained some water. I went upstairs and I turned on a faucet of hot water so the water would drain before I turned everything off. Just open the faucet with hot water, let it drain. And at the same time, a friend of mine told me when you do a job like this, just drain the whole water heater halfway. And I don't follow every single advice I get. I first see if it's logical, sounds logical, and if it does, then if there is no harm, then I'll do it. So when I was thinking, even if that wasn't necessary, no harm could happen from emptying the tank halfway. So as another precaution, I did it. This is a little valve here. I connected a hose, I twisted that with a flat tip and emptied about 30 gallons out. Again, I don't know what was the reason for that, but I did it and it sounded logical, so I did that. The next step I'm trying to think is, yes, I didn't miss anything. Okay, now we're ready to go. Get a big wrench. Very important for me was righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, the way I opened this. But you have to remember that I don't know, I hope this is the same for you, but this right here was righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This was the opposite. It was loosening when I twist on the right. So it was righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. So don't try to, don't break your wrist trying to manpower it. Just if it doesn't go and you've given all your power, try the other way. I hope it's the same way for you. I don't mislead you, hopefully, but for me that was the case. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, righty-loosey, lefty-tighty, and this was regularly righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's very easy. You get a wrench, you open it. I mean, it's hard to open it, but you unscrew it, unscrew all the 3 nuts right here. Comes out very easy. Put the new part in, tighten everything together. That's it. The next step, what I did is waited about an hour because it was important for that water here, the remaining water, to cool off. It was what my friend, the same friend, was telling me. When you change the part, wait an hour and then turn the water on, because you don't want cold water coming in, mixing together with the hot water. It might do something like create a crack or something like that. So I waited an hour and I retracked my steps. I turned everything back on the same way I turned it off. I turned the gas back on. I turned the water back on, the main water over here. I turned that back on. I turned all the knobs on, and I came over here as well. Turned this knob on for the water, and I went to the circuit breaker and I turned that circuit breaker on. Immediately when I did that, just like you heard right now, my water heater started working, pumping and heating up the water, and the water started going into the tank. And I wanted to make sure there's no leakage. I came here, I looked at everything, and everything was dry, no leaks, nothing. I was very pleased. Hot water was coming in. I left that sink that I've left open, the hot water. It started, air started coming out. It was fussing and pussing and bubbling, and water started going through, and everything was fine. So don't be afraid. If you've never done that before, just like me, I have never done that before, just follow these steps. Be safe. Turn the water off, turn the power off, and turn your gas off. Those 3 things, and you'll be safe. You'll be fine. Of course, follow logic. Pipes that are in between, shut them off so no water can be accessed, and you're safe to take the part out. It's not a big deal. You can save yourself some money. The job cost between $200 and $300. The part that I ordered was 80 bucks from Amazon. Save yourself some money, do it. If you don't feel comfortable though, if you think you can do this, spend the money, no doubt. Spend the money. It's much better to spend $200-$300 than spending $2,000-$3,000. Okay. So this is it from me. Hopefully this helped you. I really hope so. Follow these steps to be safe and you're fine. It wasn't a big job at all. I was worrying for nothing. It was really quite pleasant and easy job for me. Follow the steps to be safe, and that's about it. Just one wrench and maybe two wrenches, that's it. One to help you one way, one the other. That's it. Those were the tools that I've used right over here. I'll just show you the tool that I used real quick. It was this wrench right here, okay? One wrench, unscrewing it. That was it. So be safe. That's the main thing. And good luck. Okay? Bye-bye.